So you have escorted the vampire.
I'm keeping my distance.
Question mark.
And at least one dagger drawn.
Yeah. So you've gotten her away from the guard. You have successfully diffused whatever was going on. Whatever would have happened if they had found her. So what do you guys want to do?
It is my plan to escort her to the actual temple. Correct? I think that's what we discussed before we left.
Okay.
I got a really good friend there. I don't know how much freedoms you want me to go with creating.
Go for it.
I have a friend named Kata, a very lovely gnome lady. She's pretty nice. She has copper hair and narrow amber eyes. Just a beautiful, beautiful priestess that leads the temple. And I think that she will allow us in and into the basement to have some discussions with Tig.
Yeah. I have a discussion for her. And he's pounding his fist.
Okay. So you arrive at the Temple of Deleuze. So for anybody who's not familiar with Deleuze, which is everybody, it's the god of light and healing and goodness and all that good stuff. There is a temple to Deleuze in Winter's Rest, and in fact, it is the tallest building in that it has like a spire thing up on top that has windows and mirrors that make it so that whenever the sun is out, so it reaches a lot more sunlight than most of the buildings, and when the sun is out, the sun shines into the windows and then it reflects them down to illuminate at least a small portion of the main section of the temple with natural sunlight. So.
I didn't bring her to a death. It's dark. It's night.
Oh yeah, it's nighttime. I'm not saying right now, but just in general.
Just making sure. That's also awesome detail.
Little bit of flavor for
I love that.
For the temple.
As we approach, Jormund says, "The beauty that the Sun Father brings upon us. Look at this magnificent temple. It is one of many great sources on this, or great locations on this planet. Do you guys know Deleuze? I can introduce you. The priestess here is really wonderful. Are you a follower?"
I like to keep myself in the shade, honestly.
Well, if it wasn't for the sun, or if it wasn't for the light provided by the Sun Father, you would not have any shade.
He's got you. He has you there, says Tig.
Shut up, you bloody she-devil.
What about you, Wardin?
No, thank you.
You know what? I respect your choice.
No thanks, I'll have none.
You're missing out on the wonders of the Sun Father.
Not the All Father.
I keep going to want to say that, but that's clearly not what I want.
Yeah. So you arrive at the temple. It's not locked. You just knock on the door. They do keep the doors closed, of course, because it's freaking cold outside. But you knock on the doors after a little while. Sure enough, the priestess Kata comes to the door, pulls it out, or she slides there's a little slider thing. No point in letting all the heat out if you don't have to.
Right.
So she opens it up, she peers outside, and you hear, "Yes, can I help you?"
Kata, it's been a while. I know I missed last service, but I did spend time with the children at the orphanage.
Jormund, I heard about that. What could possibly be of need in this hour?
Well, we need your assistance. We need a place to. I know the irony is not lost upon me, but we need a nice dark place to keep our guest for a moment. Can you help us?
Let me make a perception check, she says. Sounds good to me. Come on in. She her eyes are. She's just woke up, so she's rubbing her eyes. Yeah. Come on in. So she opens the door, and you guys enter.
So she's a gnome.
Tig
so
starts
I'm
to
not...
sizzle a little bit.
She starts to sizzle, but she Tig does not appear happy being in here. She is visibly uncomfortable.
Is this any better or worse than what they would have done to you if they found you?
Better.
I assume since she's a gnome, when we come into the door, there's a stool or something.
Oh yeah. She was standing
on top of
up on a platform.
Kata, is there where would you recommend we take our guest for the moment? And do you have any supplies that we can maybe stay in there for a little while?
We have some solitary, some what's the word I'm looking for? We have some bed chambers for any followers that choose to take a sabbatical. What exactly is it that you need?
We just need a place that the light cannot reach. Now, once again, the irony is not lost upon me. A storage area in the basement, maybe. Our friend here is allergic to, it has fear of light.
Fear of light, you say? And she makes a religion check. What kind of fear of light are you talking about?
She has a... Is she?
Oh, and she sees Pip. She says, "Oh dear me, your friend here is about to die."
Yeah, I'm Pip. This is my blood. I'm very fond of it.
Okay, hold that thought. She holds up a finger to Jorman. And she
I forgot I'm at 1 hit point.
She rushes off into the back. You hear her waking up some of the acolytes, and several of them come out, and they each perform a healing word on Pip. So let's say, Pip, you get 12. You get 15 hit points back.
15, you say?
Yeah.
15, you say?
Thank you, Kata. I appreciate that.
I thank each of them as they say their word, and to the last one say, "You kiss your mother with that mouth."
Why, yes, I do, sir.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, I'm volunteering after being discharged from the guards place because they kicked me out
For dancing.
Dancing is forbidden.
They told me not to dance.
Dancing
and
is forbidden.
I said, I will never stop dancing, and they kicked me out.
We're gonna have a real footloose situation on our hands here, I think.
Yes, we will need a place to
Lieutenant
hang
Lithgow.
up our coats. We'll need bedrolls. We'll need basic provisionals. Get some cloth. Oh, you've already tended to his wounds wonderfully.
Mm-hmm.
So good job.
Yeah, Kata is looking very suspiciously at Tig, and she pulls you aside, Jorman, and she says, "Jorman, tell me, what is she and why is she here?"
Well, he turns and he starts carrying on a conversation with Bassan. He turns back. He says, "Well, I have to be honest. We're doing an investigation at the moment, and she's our only lead. And honestly, she might be in trouble. I gotta do a deeper voice. She might be in trouble."
I would say that if you brought her to a Temple of Deleuze, she is in trouble.
It's true, and we have the power as the followers of the Sun Father. It is our responsibility to see her to the light, figuratively speaking.
Bring her here.
I couldn't remember who's like holding on to her. Is that me or is that him? Well, he was taken away.
I was
so.
assuming it was Pip. I mean, they didn't really take Pip away. But
I mean, she's on a lead, I think, and I'm staying away.
So, well, have at it. No,
Okay.
You may approach.
So Tig approaches Kata, and Kata pulls over a little step ladder, steps up, and she just kind of like looks her in the eyes, and then says, she says, "My child, do you seek asylum?" And Tig, gives her a look, and eventually says, yes, I seek asylum. And Kata says, "Okay, all right. Even an abomination who seeks asylum from Deleuze shall receive it. But please do not spread word of this."
I would not. I would never tarnish the name of the Sun Father. He is all giving, though. And who says that it cannot be given to those of untrusted circumstances?
Well, I think an argument could be made that anyway. But I say that if any harm befalls anybody as a result of her continued existence, it be on your head.
Make sure you chain her up nice and tight.
I do not think that'll be necessary. And yes, Kata, I do understand, and I will take full responsibility.
Very well.
He immediately eyes a Tig. Do you promise that you can be good for a while?
She rolls her eyes.
We're here to help you.
Yes.
Can I take you at that word?
Yes.
Will you swear an oath?
Yes. I would raise my hand, but Well, whoops.
Yeah, he pulls out a piece of parchment and does a quick chant from the ancient
Give
Volsung
me
clan.
a religion check.
And Pip would like to see if she is telling the truth.
Well,
and
give me an
giving her
insight check.
word. So
18.
10.
You, Pip. I mean, it seems
10.
she seems snotty, but I mean, if she's planning on deceiving you, you aren't able to tell. Jorman, you recall there are stories. I mean, they're just stories, so whether they're true or not, there are tales that say that like vampires, assuming she is in fact yes a vampire, are trustworthy? Question mark. Like if they say they'll do something, they'll do it. Whether that's like a compulsion or just, they say they're going to kill you and then they kill you, So whether that is something that you can necessarily trust or not, that's up to you to decide. But
That is why she is still in manacles.
yeah, but I mean, you feel like it would be, of all of the undead to trust, vampires are probably one of the ones to trust. I don't trust her farther than you can throw her, but you know.
Well, Kata, where can we find this the requested area?
There is a storeroom in the basement that is not currently being used, and it has a lock. A very strong lock.
Okay.
And put some boxes in front of the door.
I think that'll
when
be
you lock.
perfect.
Okay.
A storeroom with a strong lock. We have
I will-
rats, very big rats.
I will station one of the acolytes, not in that room, but out in the basement outside of that storeroom. If there's any trouble, I will inform them to come and get me.
Sounds wonderful. Praise to the Sun Father.
Praise to the Sun Father.
He bangs on his shield with his warhammer with a dong.
People are sleeping. There's injured people here, I imagine. I don't know. I just woke up. Don't ask me.
I just worked with.
It's always time to send thanks to the Sun Father.
And she says some short little prayer or something. I don't know. So yeah, she calls one of the acolytes. They show you down into the basement, and there's sure enough a storeroom. Inside the room, it's maybe like 10 by 10, and there are some boxes in there, but they just look like they're full of like bandages or something. It's something healing related. So there's just a bunch of bandages in there, and the acolyte that shows you down there pulls out a little cot and lays down and says, if you need anything, just be sure to give me a holler.
What is your name?
Shoot, I should have come up with a name for him. His name is Elliot is the name, sir. Elliot Clearbottom.
Elliot Clearbottom.
My father was thinking about inventing a boat, but instead he had me.
Well, I think that we shall retire to the storage area.
Yep.
Is it possible to get additional watch up out of the basement? Can you guys? Is Kata still here?
I mean, she's upstairs, but
Okay, well,
so you want additional people to
just
watch?
somebody. If something manages to happen, that they can get a little additional warning.
Okay. Elliot says there's a bell he can ring that'll
Okay.
like alert everybody in the building.
Oh, wonderful. Do we still have that whistle?
Oh yeah, I imagine so. I don't think Wardin would have taken it back.
Okay.
Walden's
In fact,
whistle.
he said to you, if you ever need me for any reason, just blow this whistle and then come find me.
Because I won't be able to hear it.
That's funny.
You take this ship, and you come and rescue me.
Okay. See, I have a whole bunch of names right here. I just hadn't
Couldn't
brought
find
them
it?
up. I hadn't brought them up. It would have taken less time to find it probably. So, okay. Small tangent. I went to fantasynamegenerator.com and I was looking up names, and there's a thing for bandit names.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the bandit names are amazing. Wacko Orlando is one of them.
Ooh.
Eye Patch Manton.
Yes.
awesome.
Here's my favorite one. Action Jeremy.
Yeah, it is.
That name's showing up at some point. Just saying.
Action Jeremy.
Action Jeremy.
This village has been doing so poorly ever since that dangerous bandit Action Jeremy showed up.
So they got you guys set up in this room. If you need any supplies, let them know. They don't really have a ton to spare, but you do have a bunch of boxes of bandages.
I could use a few of those.
I
Sleep in them.
I have a 10-foot chain, so I am going. Excuse me, Tig. Well, I understand that we are trying to help you. We still have our reservations, so I am going to.
You did almost kill him.
Yeah, so I'm going to tie the chain. Is there anything to tie the chain around or wrap it around? And in addition to around her manacles.
You notice there is a ring set in the wall.
Okay, so I pull her. I try to pull her. Does she come willingly? Or
Yeah.
Okay, so I guide her over and I run it and I try to jimmy a tie together and tie the chain to this, giving her enough freedom to kind of move and stand and sit, but not so much that she can get.
Do you have a lock?
So the manacles come with.
I mean, I figure the
keys,
manacles
but
have.
I have 2 sets of manacles. So what I could do.
It's just manacle the
Manacle.
manacles to the wall. Okay.
I could do that.
Just because a chain, you can't exactly tie a chain.
Yeah.
You know what I
Excellent.
mean?
All right. So I would like to grab my other manacles and I'll clip them around the ring.
Okay.
And then I'll clip the other end around the centerpiece
Sure.
of the
Yeah,
manacles.
you're able to do something that way.
Gotta get her one of these little things. She's sitting there, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So for our listeners, Justin was holding his hands above his head in a handcuffed motion. So yeah, she's got her hands handcuffed. I'll say I was picturing the ring as being like maybe at shoulder level, so she's like sitting on the floor with her
Wonderful
hands manacled up to the thing.
Well, now that we've got her here, I noticed when we were chasing you, you seemed to be struck with some sort of sadness. Is it because of your victim?
I did not intend to kill merely to feed.
Are you able to? You're able to control whether you take their life or not?
For the most part.
What happened?
Sometimes I was interrupted. I panicked.
By us?
Yes. I was nodding. Sorry. She nods.
So
You're trying to blame us for Vern?
Blame, no. I don't know.
what do you
It was not my intent to kill him. If I could survive without taking the lives of others, I would.
Why not just eat a couple of rats and be done with it?
Why don't you eat rats and be done with it?
I have eaten rats. It's not too bad once you get past the stringiness.
Wardin, does your book say anything about the habits and lifestyles of
The rich and the
vampire?
famous.
That's where I was going to go, but I avoided it. Thanks for that. Vampires?
No, I've never encountered them before, and just so you're aware, all the books I have are books that I'm writing myself, and they're about the creatures that I encounter. So, no, nothing in there about them, though I have heard a few tales. All I have written down right now are rumors, so I was hoping to find out as much as I can right now.
So then, Tig, do you live in this area? Are you passing through?
I live here. I've lived here for about 4 years.
Were you a vampire for all 4 years?
Yes.
Who made you? Are there other vampires?
There are. I came here to get away from them.
Are there other vampires here?
Give me an insight check.
Natural 20 plus 4, 24.
You think yes, and she is trying very hard not to incriminate anyone else.
So where do the other vampires live?
I live here with my husband. He is also hiding.
Are there other vampires?
Not that I know of.
How often do you feed?
As often as is necessary, we try to go as long as we can without, but eventually it happens. Maybe once every couple weeks.
So, you've been living here for 4 years, feeding off the people. How come no one's ever found you?
Well, this town gets a lot of travelers, and let's just say there are others in town that also kill. It's easy for one every now and then to get misattributed.
So, I don't really want to kill you, but, like, why shouldn't we?
She shrugs.
In the 4 years that you've lived here, how many have died due to your thirst?
She does a quick count. I don't know. Out of game. I don't know. She says maybe 30.
30 people.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of dead.
That's
It was
far more
almost
than I expected.
31.
It was 31. Oh, because of you.
Oh, yeah.
She says, if you choose to kill me, I understand. I do not want it, but I know that we were living on borrowed time anyway. Someday the people that we are running from will find us. I am sure they were looking for us. We've done a pretty good job of hiding. I don't want to die, but I also understand that my existence means the death of others.
Why are they looking for you?
We were part of the family, so to speak, and we did not take well to the lifestyle. And believe it or not, we don't, like I said, I don't want to kill people. We don't like killing people. And we, at one point, tried to expose those that made us. And they put a bounty on our heads, so my husband and I fled.
So as she's kind of talking, Jorman is turning back and talking to Bassan. His eyes have kind of glowed, sign that he's communing with his ancestors, and he says, I've been speaking with the ancients. They want to know how often is you need to feed.
Every couple weeks, I think is what I said earlier.
And does your feeding normally leave your victim incapacitated?
Sometimes. Sometimes the more frail, they die after we're done. And also sometimes we might bleed them dry in order to keep them from making our presence known.
Have you ever? Are you able to feed on other things besides humans?
Yes, but then we have to do it. It is not as fulfilling, and it has to be done more often, and is sometimes harder to cover up.
So, yes, Bassan, I got it. So let me ask you this: have you ever considered trying to work with? We've recently been assigned a task to deal with some people. Do you guys agree? Have you ever considered trying to work with the law enforcement and use your thirst and your powers to help the city? Sure, you might have to drink that of your victims, making them easier to capture and bring in and not kill, thus allowing you to deal with outlaws as well as quench your thirst and become a force for good in this village.
No offense, but I don't think the law enforcement would suffer a vampire to live.
Well, who says they have to be? You have to tell them you're a vampire.
I suppose.
That would take quite a convincing.
Yeah.
Just a
we
thought.
would rather just keep to ourselves whenever possible.
Do you guys have any other things you'd like to ask? Because if not, I wouldn't mind pulling you aside and having a discussion.
There's like a bunch of stuff that I would want to ask that
Just like
really-
technical stuff.
Yeah, just that I'm not going to waste audio time on.
Right.
But I want it to be known that Wardin is going to ask every single question that she can possibly think of to learn about vampires
Yeah.
and write it all down.
Sure, yeah. Story-wise, whatever questions you ask, I mean, she'll answer to the best of her ability.
Does she reveal her weaknesses?
Immunities, weaknesses, resistances.
Yes, she does reveal
How
her
many hit
weaknesses.
points do you have?
She, well, on a scale of 1 to 72, about 72. She does reveal the weaknesses. However, she says, please do not use this information to hunt and kill her husband. However, if any other vampires show up, yeah, sure.
What's your husband's name so we don't accidentally think he's one of the other vampires?
Well, she just wrote herself
Last
into
name
a
is
corner, didn't she?
Copeland. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Copeland.
No, it's not that I, the DM, don't want you to know the answer. It's just like, I'm sure she wouldn't want you to know her husband's name.
That's fair.
She says his name is Heath Copeland.
Okay.
And again, she says, I'm going to give you this information, but please do not, like she says, I'm trusting you to please not use it against him. She tells you where he lives too.
I don't plan on killing him. I don't plan on killing any vampires. I just want to learn as much as I can about them.
But so like they live in town. They basically only come out at night, which is pretty easy considering how much nighttime Winter's Rest has. And she does tell you she and her husband were originally minor nobles in the capital, and basically there is a group of nobles in very high up places that have been slowly spreading the influence, so to speak. And she and her husband were invited in under the assumption that they would enjoy being vampires. And then they realized, oh, I really don't enjoy being vampires. So they kind of tried to get out of it, and the rest of the vampires did not take kindly to it. So she and her husband are not, they can't create spawn. They're not actual, like, vampires. They are vampire spawn, so they, the weaknesses and such that affect them might not necessarily affect true vampires that you find, but...
so she gives us some pretty good information then.
Yeah. Do you guys want to know the information? Like, I don't know if you know how vampires work in
I was
Physician.
going to say we could just only pull upon it if we need it in a certain circumstance to cut audio time.
Okay. They're very hard to kill, I guess.
So, my friends, if we could, we should step out and have a discussion, I believe. His eyes then start to fade, and he kind of shakes his head a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What's left to discuss? We stuck a vampire in a basement.
Okay, so we've exited at this point.
Yeah, sure. She says, "Oh, don't worry, I won't go far." Haha.
Ha ha ha.
So I have some concerns, in as a follower of the Sunfather, she is a creature who needs to feed just like we do. While she has taken lives, many have. Soldiers take lives all the time. She only does it because she has to survive. Is there a solution that we can come to that doesn't involve slaying her?
Yeah, we could not slay her.
As long as she stays chained up, I think I'm all right.
But also protect the townspeople.
Keep it chained up.
Just forever?
Yeah, forever and ever.
Okay.
I think that we need to... There's obviously no simple solution to that. Yes, Bassan, I know. Yeah, I'll tell him. My ancestors believe that it is the right of all sentient beings to live. And it's not... She's only doing what she has to survive. She appears to be nonviolent, sure. I know you're not too happy about having your blood removed, but she did warn you, based on the description you told me, that you had an option to run. Is that correct? She told you leave, and you chose not to?
That was only after she killed Vern.
Yes, but she's also saying that he would not have died if we had not shown up.
Look, she's not dead. I'm not gonna kill her. Let's just be done with it.
Do we just leave her then?
I'm done with her. I don't want any part of her.
Okay.
We can't leave her chained up in a basement.
So
why not?
You can.
So I have an idea. We can approach her that as long as she only drinks from those of evil hearts.
I'm gonna turn her into Dexter.
I was thinking more like, Blade, but whatever. Maybe we can persuade her to try to avoid the innocent, and only focus on those who truly are dark, or even other humanoids such as orcs or goblins. Her power is stronger than any one of us on our own, so she could be a force for good. I think we just have to. Yes, I'm trying to get to that point. Just give me a moment. We can point her in the right direction.
Well, she's just as much as a force for good as the orcs or goblins you're sending her after.
Except for she's making an effort to not hurt stuff, while orcs pillage and raid nonstop and kill.
But what about Susie Orc that doesn't like being an orc and wants to help, wants to help people?
You have an excellent point, and that would be a decision she would have to make.
You're leaving that decision to a vampire.
She's done her best for the last 4 years.
I just don't think it's our place to decide whether or not this person lives or dies, or whether she should, do one thing with her life or the other. Let her go. Let her be on her way. If she wants our help killing some other vampires that come after her, great. If she wants to kill bad people, great. If she wants to eat rats, great. Whatever.
All right. So we're letting her go then?
Pip folds his arm and just kind of turns away.
Do whatever you want. Just keep her away from me.
I go back in there. Stay away from Pip, and then I let her go.
All right.
So Wardin goes in and unlocks her.
I suppose I don't have the key, but
I
Yeah,
have
good
the
point.
keys.
Okay.
Bassan, and then his pouch. You see his satchel kind of ruffle, and 2 keys get pulled out.
Like a janitor's ring
Yeah.
keys. All of them are exactly the same, but he's still kind of.
And they come floating over to you. As we approach her, we look at her, and here's what we're gonna do. You say that you can make an effort to not kill people, and as a follower of the Sun Father, let me tell you a chant that I heard.
I thought we weren't going to torture her.
And he starts chanting about making choices that in living for the better of I can't say human, but
It's just mankind.
for better for mankind, and how it's up
Humanoid
to
kind.
yeah why it's up to us to make those choices. We're not born evil, we are learned evil. And she can right her wrong. He's chanting for like 5 minutes before it finally is done.
Yeah. Give me a persuasion check.
23,
Okay.
22.
By the time you're done, she is crying once again, and she
Hassan. Cloth wipes her tears.
she laughs actually when that happens. That kind of laughing where like you're crying, but you're still laughing because of the ridiculousness of the situation. So she doesn't say anything. She nods, and
Can I make a request of you?
yes,
I won't always be around to protect the younglings in this city. If anything ever happens, will you and your husband protect them, not eat them?
we will do our best.
But those are the tastiest.
She actually
Blood's
clarifies
the tenderest.
they will do their best to defend them. She's not saying she will do her best to not eat them.
All right.
I was gonna say it's pretty easy to not eat kids.
Oh, you say that.
Depends on the thirst and the drive. I mean, I could
She-
say it's easy to not eat or do drugs, but for some people, it's
Yeah.
damn near impossible. So
So yeah, she says she will do her best. You get the impression she means that. Whether that means she ever will eat another person or not, that's time will tell.
says, I have a gift for you as a reminder. He reaches into his satchel and he pulls out a small patch with a sword through the sun, the symbol of the sun god. And he says, I'd like you to hold this as a reminder of what we've done for you today.
Is it
She holds a hand out. She takes it in her hand. She momentarily drops it and then realizes that's stupid, so she picks it up and
realize that it's not actually a whole. It's
right.
not a holy symbol.
It is a symbol of a holy symbol, but it is
That
not.
is not a holy symbol.
Yeah. So she puts it in her pocket, and so you've like taken her manacles off now.
Yeah, Wardin has.
She
has done
rubs
that.
at her wrists and she says, "I do not think many people would let a vampire go free, no matter what promises they made." So
You got that
I
right.
was gonna say, Jorman quickly flashes a look over at Pip.
is Pip in the room?
Pip is like just outside the room, still like huffing in the corner, but he does
Like a
shout in there.
she-
You got that
child.
right.
She says to Jorman and Wardin, she says, "Would it be too much to ask for a moment in private with your friend?"
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
we don't want you
could-
drinking them again.
could you please ask him to come here and maybe just turn the other direction or something?
Pip, I think she wants you to turn the other cheek, feller.
What?
Can you come in for a moment?
I got 2 cheeks.
Sorry, I was gonna make a butt joke. You can cut that.
No, that's the kind of humor we're going for, Jeff.
Oh, sure.
So whether the others face the other way or not, she looks to you and she says, "Sir, I would like to apologize. I hurt you. I understand that I did, and it was to save myself, and I apologize. I cannot promise that I will never hurt another person, but I will try not to hurt you."
You see a tiny trickle down Jorman's face, and it gets caught in his braided beard.
And then she says, "I would like to give you a token of my apology." And she hands you a piece of cloth that has a picture of the sun with a sword through it. And she says, "There was a time in my life when this meant a lot to me. It was a symbol of someone's forgiveness, and I would like to pass that forgiveness on to you. Please take it."
A low thrumming starts to
it to
come
you.
from Jorman.
All right, fine. She takes it back. I'm sorry. I cannot give this to you.
He's actually supporting her.
Pip brandishes one of his daggers and just sort of like points it at her.
He's like, "You killed a good man, and I'll never forgive you for that.
She's you can see like a tear go down her face.
But as long as you can never forgive yourself for that, I think that's punishment enough."
Ouch. That's harsh.
No, that's
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. She wipes the tear from her face and she nods and she says, "I hope that someday we will meet again in more favorable terms."
Bah.
He storms off.
Yeah.
May the Sunfather protect you.
So she very very cautiously like goes to leave just to make sure that you guys aren't gonna like jump out at her or something. Do you just let her go?
Yeah.
Basson? It starts beating to the drum. Boom, boom.
Well, she leaves.
What forms of sight does she have?
That's a good question. I believe she has dark vision.
Oh, does she? Okay.
There was a murder last night. A young lady died with a weird pit in through her heart.
Someone was climbing her.
Like little pinholes all through her body.
Yeah, she has dark vision.
It's very interesting, that.
Just so you guys know, in case you do encounter any more vampires spawn, the vampires themselves, I don't necessarily want to give you all of the information, but I think a lot of it's going to be the same. They have forbiddens in that they can't enter a residence without an invitation from one of the occupants, which she did have getting into the temple. She did have an invitation. Yeah. They are harmed by running water. They can cross running water, unlike in a lot of stories, but if they are in running water, it damages them like acid. Nice. A stake to the heart. So if they are incapacitated and you use a wooden stake and drive it into their heart, it will kill them instantly. And then also they are hypersensitive to sunlight. They take 20 radiant damage every time they start their turn in sunlight. Oof. And they have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. And I believe their regeneration does not function while they're in running water or in the sunlight. So,
well, if we ever run into another one, we have a full understanding of her I don't know, the race,
biology.
Yeah,
I
biology.
guess. Yeah.
Basson, make a note of this. Write a new chant.
So yeah, she leaves in a bit of a hurry. After a little while, Kata comes down and she says, did your friend just leave?"
Yes.
No, that was someone else.
She's no friend of mine.
That was someone else.
That was someone else, you say?
Yep. That was Elliot
Smith.
Clear bottom.
Elliot? Yes, Miss
No,
Kata.
that's not Elliot. That's a vampire.
No, I swear I'm not a vampire. And Kata yells, "Quick, get the sunlight!"
Quick, get the sunlight.
It's in the cabinet.
She turns to Jorman and she says, "Jorman, I sincerely hope you know what you're doing."
You know what the Sunfather always says.
Yes, I know what the Sunfather always says.
She had remorse in her heart. She regretted what she did, and she did not take pleasure in it. Do you think it's right to extinguish that light?
No.
Even
Understood.
if it is shrouded in darkness?
Understood. All right. Well, will you still be staying here the night?
No, I'm going back to the inn.
Okay.
Thanks for the hospitality, Kata.
You're welcome. Please don't come here with another one of those.
Okay.
Make no promises.
Don't
you know what the Sunfather says.
Please make promises. Please.
I'll make sure to wipe my feet next time.
You didn't wipe your... Oh, that was you!
The kids are scrubbing that stuff up right now. Yeah, I'm Jorman turns to Kata. Mm-hmm. I want to thank you for your generosity and following in the light of the Sunfather. I knew it was risky bringing her here, but we could not have in good conscience take her to anywhere else. So thank you, Kata.
If I may ask, under what circumstances was she brought here and then let go?
Handcuffs.
All right. Good point. Okay, well, again, I trust your judgment. Please don't make me regret that.
Okay. I guess apparently, according to Basson, that means it makes one of us.
All right, so yeah, what are you guys gonna do?
I'm ready to
Sleep.
head back to
Yeah.
the town,
Okay.
tavern.
Yeah, Pip would like to recover at least most of his hit points back.
Yeah, I would love some
Ye
spell
old,
slots.
Yeah.
grotto.
I used all but one.
Oh, well, before I leave, is there anything I can do about that bite at the Sun Temple? Say, you got anything for one of these? And I point at my neck.
They tell you that unfortunately not without very high level magic. The best thing to do is just sleep it off.
All right.
Yep.
That sounds like something a barbarian would say, not a cleric. Walk it off.
Well, because we had this issue in a Roll20 game that Jeff was running a while back, is that like there isn't explicitly a way to get rid of this penalty to your hit points without a long rest. I mean, a long rest is fine. You know, you can get a long rest with 8 hours, but there isn't without like restoration or something, which is like a 5th level spell.
Yeah.
There's no way to just like immediately get rid of it.
Yeah,
Which makes it very dangerous,
Yeah, I know.
which is fantastic. That's glorious.
And so the problem with what's his face, Vernon, was that his hit point maximum was basically 0. Or like at 0 or
That
something, or
makes
just
sense.
above it or something like that. So
That's
that's
why
why
we
you
couldn't heal him.
Couldn't heal him.
Right.
So anyway, so that
I've been
was
imagining like Ernest, like Vern.
well, that's actually why I called him that, because I couldn't remember the name and I was like, I don't know, let's call him Vern.
Ernest goes to Neverwinter.
Exactly. And Justin and I were talking about Ernest earlier because of that. And anyway, I love Ernest. I love all the Ernest movies. So anyway,
what's the name of the town? Winter's Rest?
Winter's Rest.
Okay.
So you guys are heading back to the tavern.
Yep.
Okay, you get back there, and by now it's pretty late. It's winding down. You guys were remembering just a short, hour or so ago when you were on your way back and you were ready to go play some music and tell some stories and have a drink. And
Jorman's a little exhausted now.
yeah, and now Vern is apparently no longer going to be joining you, and he had more gold too, and he was in the middle of telling you where it was.
Yeah, he tried to tell me, and unfortunately I wasn't able to save him. I tried.
Yeah.
I really did.
Tell my wife I said hello.
My connection to Triagia is not as strong as it needs to be, but in time.
So anyway, you guys get back. You pretty much just get straight to bed, go to sleep, wake up the next morning. Pip, your hit points are back at full.
Hooray!
Yeah, everybody's back full. They all have their
Hooray, me blood's back.
all their spell slots. Yeah, so it's the next morning.
Just drink some orange juice and have a few cookies.
Then
You gotta give him a sticker that says I donated.
there you go.
Didn't she give you a patch? Does
You got
that
a little.
That's what it should have
Yes.
been. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
dang.
Let's go back and re-record that
Yeah,
part.
Just to remember
please.
that you're here's a patch to remember that you are a donor. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. So you. It's the next day. You still have it's the following night that you'll be going to whatever this job was that the guy wanted you to do. So you guys basically have a full day. What do you guys want to do?
Hunt vampires.
Okay. Good time to do so during the day. They're just all over the place then.
this place is lousy with them.
Yep.
Hey, it's Winter's Rest. There's not that much sunlight. It's the perfect place to hide out if you're a vampire.
Exactly.
honestly.
That's why they're there.
When Jen Maroney's shooting that werewolf movie or whatever, and it's like daytime, nighttime.
right.
Kata had caught Jorman. He mentioned that he was he had mentioned that he had missed some of his temple services, his community services. So he's actually gonna go to the temple and do his quote unquote volunteer work in the service of the Sun Father, which means he might be cleaning latrines or something. I don't know. I'll leave that to you. But
Okay. I mean, I doubt there were. Well, I was gonna say I doubt there are gonna be many latrines because I'm thinking latrines as like an outdoor. I hope people aren't using outhouses and up in the frigid,
excellent
freezing
point.
cold.
Poopsicles.
They have you. They just have you.
Easier cleanup.
The reason that storeroom didn't have anything in it, they were planning on moving a bunch of stuff in there, so they just have you move a bunch of boxes.
All right.
So you spend the majority of the day just moving.
Enchanting
that.
the entire time of epics of the great the great Valsung clan.
And it's weird because when you got there were a bunch of other people that were supposed to be helping move boxes too, but then he started chanting and they all disappeared. Funny how that works.
Funny that.
Well, not everyone can appreciate great epics.
Pip is gonna go supply himself with some more rope because you can never have enough rope.
I'm curious.
What's up?
I was just going to ask, was Tig like a human turned vampire or a something else turned vampire?
Human.
Okay.
And then he'll also be stopping by like the smith to use their tools.
Okay.
He likes to he hammers his climbing spikes into daggers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Yeah, I'll say you're, just for simplicity's sake, you are friends with the blacksmith because you've been in town for a while.
Yeah.
So they let you borrow a hammer for a minute.
Yeah, my mother was a smithy. She taught me a thing or two.
and so I'll just hammer out a few.
And I'll even say, if you don't mind me putting this into your backstory, you, the gentleman that is working at the smith is I'll say he's a gnome, and you've been giving him tips on, like, well, I remember the smiths back home, they would do it this way and so on.
Oh, okay.
And so he was like a journeyman when he started, and like you've been helping him work his way towards an expert. Not that you are an expert, just that you are able to give him share him tips that he wouldn't have had
Yeah,
otherwise.
share a few family secrets, you know,
Yeah.
just to help him around.
Yeah, thank you. This is my voice, apparently. The smith has. I'm a gnome. Do I sound like a gnome? Everybody tells me I don't sound like a gnome.
I get that a lot, actually.
Yes.
Well, I have to introduce
So
myself as Steve the Gnome.
I don't know how long it would. I just do the services all day long. That's not. I don't.
okay. I mean, if there is something else that'll happen in just a moment. Was there anything else you wanted to be doing today?
He has this big dragon horn.
Okay.
Maybe he could poke around. Actually, maybe he goes to the same smithy he's at.
Yeah, sure.
And
So Pip, you're at the smithy. You're hammering your
Daggers.
your pitons into daggers, and while you're there, your buddy Jorman shows up.
Hey, what brings you here?
Pip, I did not know that you were a master of the anvil and hammer.
Not quite a master, but it's in me blood, so I could make a thing or two.
Is the other gentleman there with him?
Yes, hello, sir. I'm a gnome. As you can tell by my voice, I am the gnome blacksmith, and my good friend here, Pip, is showing me a thing or two about hammering from the old dwarves.
Just a few tricks, so nothing that special.
Oh, hang on, my wife just showed up. Oh, hello, honey. Hi, honey. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Isn't it great being gnomes? Why, yes, it is. Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day. I love you. Mwah. Mwah. I love you too. Bye.
When you said that, I thought you were saying that Lisa was home, but
I got a wife and a daughter, and I miss them much. And appreciate what you have now.
Oh, speaking of which, my daughter. Hey, daughter, come here. Yes, father. How are you doing? I'm doing wonderful. This gentleman just spoke of his daughter and made me think of you. Oh, thanks, father. That's really cool. I love that we have this great hereditary voice. Thank you for passing down this voice to all of us. Oh, look, Grandpa's here. Hello, son. Hello, granddaughter. Hello, daughter-in-law. Hello, father-in-law. I'm done with this bit. Let's move on.
Are you sure? We can keep going.
Nope, we're done.
Jorman turns to him. Well, he reaches into a satchel and pulls out this large dragon horn. He says, my friend, I'm looking for a way to weaponize this. It's a magnificent piece, and I think it would make for a wonderful, either a blade or maybe some sort of accent to my lovely shield. Is there something you can do with that?
I'm sure there is. I'll see what I can do. So you want either a sword or something to your shield?
Yeah, something. I mean, it could be just flavor. I mean, it could be just a regular long sword and a shield. You don't need to make any changes, but...
Yeah, he tells you to leave your shield with him. He will take a look at it. He'll take a look at this horn and figure out what he can do to combine the two.
All right, I will leave this for
Imagine
you.
you come back and it's like just duct taped to the front of the shield. Just glued on like, that'll be 500 gold.
He's just got like a little chain hanging down from the shield, and it's just wrapped around the thing. Yep, I made a dongle. There you go.
I had a character
Called a
once go
dragon
through
dongle.
something similar where he wanted to create some stuff for somebody. Asked him to create it because he had like the artisan background.
Yeah.
He came back and he's like, "What is on my armor? Oh, that's maple syrup. What is that for? It's holding the stuff together." He's like, "It'll last a few weeks. Don't get it wet."
Yeah. So yeah, he says, leave him the shield, and he will find some way to adorn the shield with the.
What is your name,
horn.
sir?
My name is
I'm sorry. I don't mean to throw you
No,
off every
no,
time
it's
I
fine.
ask what the names of people
I
are.
should keep this list of names up. It's my bad.
This here's Gunther.
He says, my name is Gunther.
All right, Gunther. This is a family heirloom that I'm leaving with you.
Oh,
you'll
dear.
You'll see the intricate Sunfather crest.
Okay.
Do you know much about Sunfather? Do you have him in your life?
I mean, he's down the street from here, so yeah.
Well, let me read you an epic on the greatness and why you should be a follower of the Sunfather. And he
Oh
begins
gosh!
chant-
Speaking of fathers, my father is just calling for me. Listen, hey son, yes father, and you can see at this point, it is him doing the voice. He's just like he holds up a hand and he's like, oh hey father, So he tells you, okay, enough with that. If this is an heirloom, are you sure you want me to be modifying it? I can try to find a way to make this into a sword.
You have to understand that this heirloom was passed down, and every generation that owned it made slight modifications.
Okay.
You see this intricate buckle in the back, and you see this like cool little handhold and everything.
It's a nice buckle.
It was a huge improvement by my great grandfather.
Nice buckle.
And he starts to kind of point out like the intricacies of the designs and how they've all been added and altered over the years. And he needs to add his. I need to add my part to it, and I've been waiting for the perfect opportunity. And this dragon horn is definitely something that can do it.
Very well. I will do my best. If
all
I
I
have
can ask.
if I have any questions about the exact placement, I will let you know. But I think I know a good way to make this work.
Yes, Basson. Good.
All
See
right.
what you can do.
So yeah, check back with me in a day or two.
So my AC will be down to 16 until I recover my shield.
Okay.
What kind of player automatically gets rid of his biggest advantage?
I mean, you could get another shield in the meantime, but
I would never wield such a inferior piece of equipment.
okay. Good answer. So Wardin, you are what are you doing today?
Writing down everything that I've learned. And
Okay.
probably sending another letter to my mom saying like, hey, I didn't die.
So you're so just hanging out at the tavern.
Yep.
You're going okay. While you're there, somebody walks in and they walk in. They look around and then they look at you. And I'll say this is an elven woman, and she looks at you and she says, "Are you Wardin?"
Yep.
I have a message for you as well as for your companions Jormun and Pip.
Okay.
So she hands you a little folded over slip of paper, and she says, just pass that on whenever you see the other two.
Okay. What's your name?
Oh, my name. I am Casimir.
Okay.
Just straight into the point. I don't care.
Oh, gosh, it was a cold walk over here.
Okay.
Just going to go back out into that cold city. Well, have a good day.
You too. I read the message.
She leaves. All right. So you notice the message. It is from your pal Wardin, and it says that if you and the gang are free, then dinner is on him today, and it gives you directions to. There's another inn in town, and this one is called Taste of Coral. Coral being the name of the elven country to the south, and it is kind of nearby, but kind of just in like the nicer part of town. And it says, "Meet me there."
Where they have the streetlights.
There you go. Meet me there, and dinner is on me tonight.
Okay.
You read it and go, okay.
And then you see the Casimir. She goes over to. She has something for another patron. She pulls out like a box or something and hands it to them, and they're like, "Oh, I thank you. Here is a lovely tip for a lovely young woman," and hands her a little stack of copper coins or something like that. Please buy yourself something on me. And then Casimir says, "Oh, thank you very much, sir." And then glares over at you.
You wave.
So that is what happens there.
Okay.
So yeah, what do you do?
I wait for them to come back.
Okay.
So I've made 2 daggers.
Okay.
So I think it's like 5 GP market value in a day's downtime, right?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Using those craft mechanics. Good job, Jeff.
Yay! So yeah,
I didn't I give away most of our money?
I mean, I had some like.
Well, he's making money is what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a hard-working pip.
Yep.
Hard-working people.
Yeah. So after a little while, you guys return back to the tavern. You see Wardin sitting in her spot where she always is, and yeah. What do you guys do?
Hey, someone gave you a letter.
I glance at the letter and see the thing. What is that? Like buy you dinner or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Dinner's on him. Give me a perception check.
Sure. 20.
You notice written down at the bottom is P.S. Be sure to tip the courier. It's cold out there.
It's cold out there. Be sure to tip your messenger. But yeah, the Pip notices the words. Basically, it notices that there's free food involved. It's like, so where are we going? What's
The Taste of Coral.
Yep. You've seen that. There's basically two like main inns. There's a bunch of just like flop houses or like cheaper places to stay, since this is, a lot of people do come through here. But as far as like where to get a meal and get a drink and get a room and all that, there's Ye Old Grotto, which is where you are, and there's Taste of Coral, which is like much more upscale.
And Coral, you said, is like the Elven lands?
Yep. Coril.
Yeah.
It's like, well, not much for elven food, but very much for free food.
Okay. So you
I'm right there with you. Back in the Volsoon clan, we had a really special ale that we went with our meat called Bourbon Toe.
Did you write a chant about it?
Actually, he turns to Bassan, and you start seeing his satchel get ruffled through, and he says, "Actually, right here, I will not sing it right now because it's very special. It needs to be chanted only when being drank. It's a policy that."
So in other words, that glug 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 glug.
I
chant it while you're drinking.
I kind of envisioned it was more like a Irish drinking song type of.
Okay.
Before you buy your
that makes a bit more sense.
No, it's like a ventriloquist thing where you're like, you're
talking,
drinking,
but as you're drinking,
Then your dummy is singing its praises.
But I'm definitely interested. I say we should move there immediately, as I'm always one to welcome a warm, nice meal.
Okay.
Yes, Bassan says him too.
Does Bassan eat? Just curious.
I've never seen him. He claims he does.
Okay.
Apparently his favorite drink is silver tea. I've never had that. Is that any good? Oh, okay. And he loves hog meat.
Oh.
The rump, actually. The rump, right? Yeah, okay.
See,
He says the rump.
I'm the DM. I was asking out of character, and I like how you responded for the character.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't
Okay,
eat, but he
okay.
says he does.
Okay, good to know. I was just curious.
Well, because the idea originally was that they're ancestors, so they do remember what they were, and he's kind of like the intermediary of talking and summoning summoning the ancestors.
Okay. So you guys head over to Taste of Coral. And so you head over there, and like that area of town is much nicer. The streets have cobblestones instead of just being frozen dirt. I'll say it's like still light out at this time. It's the middle of the day. So you notice there are street lamps. However, they're not lit. They're just, you notice them there.
As we're walking by the lights, because they're out, He kind of yes, okay, Bassan. He's going to call upon the will of the ancestors, and he I can't bash on my shield no more.
Oh no!
oh no!
He makes he bangs his hand on his hammer on his chest to make a ringing, and he uses prestidigitation to turn the lights on. Light the lamps.
I'm gonna see if anybody notices. Nope.
Light the lamp, not the rat.
Nobody's paying attention. What?
Told you.
What'd you say?
Light the lamp, not the rat.
Oh.
Yeah,
Don't light a rat.
It's from a Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, right. Okay.
Jordan's not a fan of night.
So you see there is a fairly large building that has it's actually right close to, it's like right next to City Hall, and you notice there is a big sign up top that says Taste of Coral, and then it has a picture of like a tomato, some wheat, and like a pepper of some kind.
Tomato, banana peppers. Oh, and get pepperoni too.
I was not intending to reference that, but there you go.
Pepperoni too?
Guys, do we have pepperoni too? So yeah, the sign has various foodstuffs, probably important elements in whatever type of food it is they make. Give me a history check. Everybody who wants to give me a history check.
Does it have anything to do with
hell yeah.
stonework?
I nailed
In
it.
a way, let's
24.
say 24.
I got a 2.
Okay. So let's say
everything.
yes.
Let's fancy a yes.
Is it you know everything, or you record everything so you can reference it and find it later?
15.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if it has to do with stonework, I double my proficiency even
Pip?
if I'm not proficient.
You know that sometimes when they make certain foods, they cook them on a stone.
Delicious.
Yes. So, Jormund, you're actually not sure what 2 of those 3 foodstuffs are. You tell me which ones. It's up to you.
The pepper.
I know what pepperoni is.
There's pepperoni was not on there. It was peppers. It was green peppers, tomatoes, and wheat.
I would say green peppers.
Okay, so you know what green peppers are. You don't know what the other 2 are.
That was backwards in my head. Oh,
Okay.
I know what wheat is because
Okay.
that's something that's common.
You know what wheat is.
Barley
You are
wheat
not
stuff.
familiar with the other ones.
Okay.
Wardin, you recognize those as being 3 very common components in tiefling cooking.
Oh, okay.
And then you get the joke. Coral in Infernal, which is the language that tieflings speak, is the word for home. And it is also the name of the country to the south that was originally tiefling lands. And it was gifted to the elves after the tieflings lost a big war a long time ago.
Sure.
So, yeah. You have an idea of what sort of cuisine to expect.
Okay.
So, so you guys go inside. When you do, you are greeted very boisterously by Wardin, who is, he's not like surrounded like he was in the other place, but there are various people clearly paying attention to him. But his demeanor is not like it was back at Ye Old Grotto. At Ye Old Grotto, he was like performing for all the common folk who were like coming up and, asking, oh, what about that crazy adventure you went on? Here he is very much entertaining like a much richer folk. There are people that are interested in him, but they're not asking about his exploits. They're asking about like the connections he's made and so on and so on.
Sort of more of like an at the captain's table sort of
Kinda, yeah.
Atmosphere than
Yeah.
a like a big like showy tale at a bar.
Sure. So like these are people that are before he was impressing everybody without even really trying to. Here it's like they want his attention and he wants their attention. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyway, he yells from the other side of the room. He's like, Jormund, Wardin, Pip, over here. The fellow adventurers have arrived. And you notice that he does not have his big glowing fiery axe. In fact, as you enter the building, somebody at the door stops you. A tiefling gentleman in a suit stops you. And he says, I apologize, but you must check your weapons at the door.
I handle my weapons.
Jormund looks at his hammer and says, "It appears to be in perfect working condition."
Please, sir, you must check it at the door. And he points to like a cabinet.
So so Jormund walks over to the door and continues to inspect it, and he says, "There's still nothing wrong with my weapon."
You must leave it here.
But that's not what you just said.
He means he's gonna hold on to it so we don't do nothing funny.
It's going to be one of those days.
Well, I don't know why he doesn't just say that Bassan.
I apologize. I need you to leave your weapon here.
Which one?
You must leave your weapon, and he points at the hammer.
Okay.
Here, and he points at he has like a little locker.
Okay, so he says, all right, you can have this one. And he reaches in his back and he pulls out these tiny javelins. What about these ones?
I need you to leave those also. And he points with two different hands, points back and forth between all of the weapons that you have on you.
Bassan? And the weapons just start floating over to wherever he wants them.
He opens up the locker and they presumably float inside?
Yep.
Okay. And you see inside there is a big old flaming axe. In fact, where it is inside the locker, the top of the locker is getting like scorched.
It's a little singy.
Yeah.
I'm going to get those back, right? Those are family heirlooms.
Yes.
Okay.
They will be here when you leave.
Do you know how many foes those things have speared? Let me tell you, he pulls out a sheet and starts doing a chant of all the monsters he's slayed and enemies he's conquered.
So Wardin yells from the other side of the room, "Don't worry, he'll finish eventually."
Pip hands over like a bandolier full of climbing spikes.
This
awesome.
gentleman in the suit holds it with like 2 fingers like away from himself, like it is something repulsive, and he lays it gently inside the locker. And he takes your staff, Wardin, and he
And the crossbow.
puts it up in there, not like away from the flaming
Yeah.
axe.
Can I keep
That'd
my
be
drum? It's a weapon of war, but not in the traditional sense.
You may keep your drum,
Please,
but
no,
please
no.
refrain from playing it. We already have
Oh, have no
musical accompaniment.
No problem. I won't play it. Bassan will.
Use
Please
deception.
take the drum. Take the drum.
Yeah, use deception.
It's a weapon. It's a weapon against my senses.
Very well, sir. I am afraid we must check your drum as well. And by check your drum, I mean we must take your drum and put it over here.
Oh no!
Until you leave. Then
Well-
you may have it back.
But he puts it in the cabinet, but
Hassan just stays in there with it.
That's what I said. I'm trying to figure out how he would react. He says, oh, you want to take my drum? Well, that's actually technically not my drum. It's an ancestral
no.
heirloom.
I'm going to go order.
Goodness.
He says, fine, you can have the drum, but you're not getting my armor.
That is okay. That is acceptable.
All right.
Thank you.
it's not exactly
Get to keep
dress
my
code,
breastplate.
but
Please,
My breastplate.
please enjoy your stay.
Well, I can't. You took all my stuff.
Please enjoy your stay as best as you can. Thank you.
I understand.
Please and thank you very much.
That was very
And
generous
then
of
he
you.
turns and purposely looks away from you, even though that means he's kind of looking straight at a wall.
Why do people do that to me?
look at the gum. Just gotta look at the gum.
You know, I was raised in the Valsoon clan, hearing epic tales and chants of glory.
Oh,
and it's an
sir, I'm
amazing
sorry.
thing.
It appears your friends are calling for you, and they're not. But you know,
It's like, oh, he just kind of starts wandering off wherever the guy's pointing.
Yep. So yeah, you guys get to the table where Wardin is sitting, and there's like various people were sort of listening in to what he was saying, but then once you guys show up, they kind of go back to what they were doing. So Wardin says, welcome. I hope the 3 of you found the place simple enough.
Yeah, not too bad. What?
I think so. We kind of did a little segue, a little star wipe, and now we're here. So
There's a big old basket of bread on the table and a bowl of butter and some another like a little pot of spices.
Just take a spoon to the bowl of butter.
Let me get some of this. Grab some spices. Ow.
I'll be honest, I feel a little naked without my shield.
Did you say that in character?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll have it back. It'll be good as new. Better than new.
What was his name again?
Wardin?
Gunther.
Gunther. Oh, Gunther.
Gunny will have it looking real nice for you.
Well, I hope so. It doesn't change the fact that I feel very naked. I need something to entertain me.
well, we're glad you're not.
I need something to distract me. Hassan, tell me a story.
So you guys you're at the table, and a very, very finely dressed man comes around, and he's a tiefling. He's wearing a suit, but like the guy at the door was wearing sort of like a suit. This guy is wearing like
A suit.
Exactly. This guy's like quite possibly the sharpest dressed individual you have seen. And he comes over. He bows to the table, and he says, "I am the owner here. I would like to introduce myself to our esteemed guests. I've already spoken with our good friend Wardin the Slayer, but
Dragon Slayer, actually.
Oh, my mistake. Wardin the Dragon Slayer.
Actually, we wrote a really nice poem chant for him.
There will be time for that later.
Are you sure?
good
Like
sir,
I got
yes.
it right here. Only take a few minutes.
May I ask your names? You are guests of Wardin, so I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage.
Yes, I am Jormund Gundar, heir
I'm Wardin.
heir to the Valsoon clan. That thing kicked on and threw me off for a second.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. So,
And my name's Pip.
well, it is a pleasure to meet all of you. As I said, I am the owner here. My name is Cole Corinthian. Welcome to
This
Taste
is
of
Bassan,
Coral.
and he points to an empty slot.
Hello, Bassan. Well, I hope you enjoy your meal here today. If there's anything that I can do for you, please be sure to let me know.
He says your suit is very nice.
Why, thank you. It was
He wants to know
very expensive.
No, I'm not going to ask him who his tailor is.
Remember, everybody give me a intelligence check.
18.
Okay.
16.
Okay. And
Six.
6. Wardin, you remember the last name?
Yep.
Pip, you remember the last name as well. So
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember the last name, but it Pip. No, yeah. Anyway.
I'm not sure if you're trying to say that you forgot or that.
No, I know.
Okay.
I have it written down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
But Pip maybe wouldn't have remembered it.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I'm saying you remember.
Yeah.
It occurs to you while this man is introducing himself. So yeah, you have just been introduced to Cole Corinthian, the oldest son in the Corinthian crime family.